All right, thank you. Dear colleagues, we'll begin with the votes. Mr. Atkins, is that a point of order?
Mr. President, I rise yet again to complain about the time management of this Parliament. Both yesterday and today we were given a time to vote and we have abused it yet again. Surely the sign of a well-run and effective Parliament is one that can manage its affairs properly to time. Can you please urge the authorities to get a grip of this? Otherwise we will be treated with the contempt we deserve.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Mr. President, my point of order regards the first two votes we have today on the calendar for next year and the year after. I have 2 points to raise, if you please. First of all, these votes simply illustrate how powerless this Parliament really is. Everybody here thinks they're getting more and more power and more influence, but in point of fact...
Point of order, Mr. Clark, point of order, not a speech, please.
Are simply to get round the fact that we are obliged to
no more microphones.
Sorry
about this. Sorry about this. We move on to the vote. Προχωράμε στην ψήφο έκθεση Fernandes.
Vote on the Fernandes report, colleagues.
As you know, colleagues, and as it has been explained, the calendar votes will take place after the speech of the President of Hungary. So now we move on to the Fernandes vote. Mr. McMillan-Scott.
Mr. President, I would not normally rise on such a point. As a Vice President, I respect the Chair. However, the groups have all been told that the calendar votes, which are very limited, I think there are 2 amendments, will take place at the beginning of the voting session and not after Mr. Schmidt has spoken to the House. I think it's disrespectful to Mr. Schmidt to allow people to go and then request them to come back again for 2 votes after his speech. I therefore ask you to put to the House the proposal to modify the agenda that all votes today take place before Mr. Schmidt's speech and we start on the basis of the calendar votes. Thank you.
Mr. McMillan-Scott, I have an answer to what you just said, and it is that on Monday this Parliament voted the agenda, and you will see in the agenda that the Parliament voted that the calendar votes would take place 12:30 to 1:30. So this is a decision the Parliament took on Monday. Mr. McMillan-Scott.
I'm sorry to prolong this, but as it happens, the voting lists have been circulated to all the groups. If this was an error, it needs to be corrected. It is ridiculous and disrespectful to the President of one of our Member States and currently in the Presidency to call the members back to the House, to the Chamber, after he has spoken. Let us do it now in the order in which it is on the voting paper. There is no justification for changing this again.
Okay. Here's how this goes. Every Monday we vote on the calendar. Listen to me. Don't ah and ooh. If you want to change the rules, you can do it. But the rules we have say that we vote every Monday on the calendar. We did this time by those members who were in the room. Now, nevertheless, the President has the right to place the calendar again to a vote if the majority of the members want this. So what I will do is exercise my discretion and ask you, would you like to vote to change the calendar for today, Who is in favor of voting to change the calendar? Who is against? Abstentions? Okay. So the proposal is, having said this, dear colleagues, I remind you that if you want to have a say on the calendar, be here on Mondays. Now, who wants? Okay, now what the proposal of Mr. McMillan-Scott was to vote for the calendar before the speech of the President of Hungary, if indeed if indeed that time allows, because as you see, we actually are losing time. I expect, dear colleagues, given the time now, that we will have a lot of votes to continue the vote of the President. So, who is in favor of voting for the calendar before the President of Hungary's speech, if in fact we have the time to do so? Okay. Who is against? Abstentions? So we shall do so. We shall vote for the calendar if we have the time before the President's speech. So, colleagues, it makes no difference. We will anyway vote after the President speaks anyway. Unbelievable. Okay, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll exercise my discretion then in order to stop this ridiculousness, and I will vote for the calendar as the first vote. Oh, everyone is happy now. Okay, you will still be here to vote after the President's speech, but let's go ahead. Now, calendar 2012, Amendment 2. Ποιοι είναι υπέρ?
In favor.
Ποιοι είναι κατά?
Against.
Αποχές, απορρίπτεται.
That's rejected.
Η τροπολογία 1 θα τεθεί σε ψηφοφορία με μυστική ψηφοφορία.
This is a secret vote.
Που θα πει θα δείτε το μπλε φωτάκι μπροστά σας.
You've got the blue thing.
Άρχεται η ψηφοφορία.
So, the vote is open.
Πέρας ψηφοφορίας.
The vote is closed.
Εγκρίνεται.
That's being carried.
Η ημερήσια διάταξη προβλέπει ψηφοφορία επί του χρονοδιαγράμματος των περιόδων για το 2013. Τροπολογία 2. Ποιοι είναι υπέρ? Κατά. Αποχές. Εγκρίνεται. Τροπολογία 1 με μυστική ψηφοφορία. Άρχεται η ψηφοφορία. Πέρας ψηφοφορίας. Εγκρίνεται. Έκθεση Φερνάντες, κατευθυντήριες γραμμές για τη διαδικασία προϋπολογισμού 2012. Τροπολογία. I am afraid that I have given the impression that I'm about to turn this vote into a circus. Amendment 2 was rejected. My decision stands. Fernandez. Τροπολογία 3. Ποιοι είναι υπέρ? Κατά. Αποχές. Απορρίπτεται. Τροπολογία 6. Ποιοι είναι υπέρ? Κατά. Αποχές. Απορρίπτεται. Παράγραφος 13 σε δύο μέρη. Πρώτο μέρος. Ποιοι είναι υπέρ? Κατά. Αποχές. Εγκρίνεται. Δεύτερο μέρος. Ποιοι είναι υπέρ? Κατά. Αποχές. Απορρίπτεται. Τροπολογία 2. Ποιοι είναι υπέρ? Κατά. Αποχές. Check. Amendment 2, check. Πέρας ψηφοφορίας.
The vote is closed.
Απορρίπτεται. Τροπολογία 4 με ονομαστική κλίση, άρχεται η ψηφοφορία. Πέρας ψηφοφορίας.
The vote is closed.
Απορρίπτεται.
Rejected.
Η παράγραφος 31 με ονομαστική κλίση, άρχεται η ψηφοφορία.
The vote is open.
Πέρας ψηφοφορίας.
Vote is closed.
Εγκρίνεται.
Carried.
Τροπολογία 5.
Amendment 5.
Ποιοι είναι υπέρ?
In favour.
Κατά.
Against.
Αποχές.
Abstentions.
Απορρίπτεται.
Rejected.
Τροπολογία 7 σε δύο μέρη.
2 parts.
Πρώτο μέρος.
Part 1.
Με συγχωρείτε. Η τροπολογία 7 απεσύρθη.
Sorry, that's been withdrawn.
Επομένως, τροπολογία... I'm sorry? Okay. Τροπολογία 7 δεν υπάρχει πλέον.
There's no split vote.
Δεν υπάρχουν δύο μέρη. Όλοι οι 7.
Let's vote on all of 7
Ποιοι είναι
together.
υπέρ
Those
της
in
7?
favour of 7.
Κατά.
Against.
Αποχές.
Abstentions.
Εγκρίνεται.
That's carried.
Τροπολογία check 7. Άρχεται η ψηφοφορία.
On 7, okay, the vote is open.
Πέρας ψηφοφορίας.
The vote is closed.
Απορρίπτεται.
That's rejected.
Τροπολογία 1.
Amendment 1.
Ποιοι είναι υπέρ?
In favour.
Ποιοι είναι κατά?
Against.
Αποχές.
Abstentions.
Check.
We'll check that.
Check τροπολογία 1.
Check on 1.
Πέρας ψηφοφορίας.
The vote is closed.
Εγκρίνεται.
Carried.
Η τελική ψήφος
Final vote.
με ονομαστική
A
κλίση.
roll call
Άρχεται η
vote.
ψηφοφορία.
And the vote is open.
Πέρας ψηφοφορίας. Εγκρίνεται. Συγχαρητήρια στον κύριο Φερνάντες.
Carried. Congratulations to Mr. Fernandes.
Η ημερήσια διάταξη προβλέπει ψηφοφορία στην πρόταση ψηφίσματος για την Ευρωπαϊκή Στρατηγική για την περιοχή του Ατλαντικού. Τροπολογία 2. Ποιοι είναι υπέρ? Κατά. Αποχές. Απορρίπτεται. Τροπολογία 3. Ποιοι είναι υπέρ? Κατά. Αποχές. Απορρίπτεται. Παράγραφος 5 με ονομαστική κλίση. Άρχεται η ψηφοφορία. Πέρας ψηφοφορίας. Εγκρίνεται. Παράγραφος 8 με ονομαστική κλίση. Άρχεται η ψηφοφορία.